Welcome to Let's Talk Chiropractic. I'm Dr. Alex, your host. I'm here with Leah Peters. So Leah, just in this beginning part, explain to us, who is Leah?
She is a mom, a grandmother, a school bus driver.
There you go.
I don't know, just me.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nope. Two
All right.
grown kids and one 8-year-old grandchild.
Stay tuned. We have a wonderful show talking about Leah's care here and how she's had care from other great chiropractors, and then she can give like kind of a comparison per se. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Let's Talk Chiropractic. I'm Dr. Alex, your host, here with Leah. We're going to talk about, why did you first come in to see me? What was going on?
Back issues, neck issues, headaches, a little bit of everything.
Yeah, I remember the first day it was a lot. One of the interesting things about your case is you used to see an amazing chiropractor from Mountaintop.
Dr. Mullen.
And I remember when I saw that I thought, wow, she's going to have this comparison in her head of me to Dr. Mullen, and you know, what a legend to stand up to. He was the greatest chiropractor in Mountaintop for a very long time. So don't hurt my feelings, but do I stand in the shadow a little bit, or is it good to be here compared to not that we would ever say we're better than Mullins, but is it good to be here if you're used to someone great like Mullins even?
I like to try and find somebody that does the same practice he does or did. And here I do.
Wow, thank you.
Because I know some of the newer chiropractors do, I don't know, it's like a soft touch massage. No.
Not for you?
Just crack my back and be done.
Right. And people who are familiar with the show know we do great with gentle adjustments, but we can, when we have to. We have to pull out the guns sometimes and get things to move. And you're definitely one of those cases. So let's talk a little bit about some of these symptoms that you experience from week to week, day to day basis. You drive bus. Low back pain and bus driving, I see go hand in hand a lot. Do you think that's...
Back.
Yeah, so you're low back with the driving of the bus?
Yeah, I mean, it used to bother me, and I had gone back to Dr. Mullen a few years ago because I had where I could barely like touch my toes. Like it was sciatic or something.
When did he retired?
He was doing them
Yeah, right.
just for certain people.
Right. So he was retired, but not for you.
No, just certain
that's
people.
sweet.
Yeah, he just did it on the side.
Well, you know you can't retire as a chiropractor.
No,
They find you.
like a bus driver.
That's right.
Can't
There you
retire
go.
either.
Yeah.
But I had gone back to him because the sciatic, I think I pinched it.
Yeah.
And he suggested the lumbar pillow for the back and something for the seat. And that worked great.
Okay. Yeah, and I like that. Got to support that back so we can hold the adjustment longer, so you don't have to come in all the time, right?
And the bus I was driving didn't have air ride.
Okay.
So that was rough.
And the route, was it pretty bumpy then?
Yeah.
And plus dealing with the kids.
Where isn't it bumpy?
Oh, snap. Okay. Well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. The roads should be better.
Yeah, they
that's
could
a
be.
Common complaint. Okay. We'll move on from that. You also get headaches. And I remember at least some of your headaches were coming from the neck.
Yes.
Sometimes they'd come from other things, whatever was going on around, stress, things like that.
And I used to get migraines, but I don't get them anymore.
Ooh, chiropractic help with that?
Thyroid.
Oh, so they had to remove
Removed it, yes. And
I
ever
remember
since
now.
then, I've been like migraine free,
Wow.
which is weird.
But you take Synthroid, probably.
Yes.
So now you're getting the right amount of thyroid hormone. That makes sense.
Not too much and not too little.
Right. Now, what was it before? Too much or too little?
Way too much.
Way too much.
Hyperthyroid.
Oh, so you must have been strung out all the time then.
Bouncing off the walls.
I wonder if that contributes to the state of your health, even though that was in the past. Sometimes you'll see that.
Everything in your system is on hyper.
Right.
Even mood swings. I didn't lose it with the kids, but when I went home, I'd lose it there.
Right, and I should clarify for those who aren't familiar with hyperthyroidism. When you have hyperthyroidism, the thyroid hormones, the thyroid stimulating or
too much.
Yeah, and if you have too much of those thyroid hormones, it's the same as having too much energy, too many things happening.
And it
That's
affects
what they
every
do.
part of your endocrine system, kidneys, lungs, pancreas, because my sugars are running high.
Oh,
That's normal again. Even your body temperature changes.
yeah, that's a big...
And you lose weight. A lot of weight.
Right, unnaturally. All right, we're going to go to a break, and then we'll come back, and we're going to talk about a little bit what the treatment looks like for a case like this. And if you relate with this, stay tuned, because this is what treatment would look like for you if you came to any chiropractor, especially here. So go get a drink, come back. We'll be right here. Welcome back to Let's Talk Chiropractic. I'm Dr. Alex, your host. We're here with Leah Peters. So, a little bit about your care. What is it like to come in to Degenerate Chiropractic and get care from one of the chiropractors here?
I feel so much better when I walk out the door.
That's a good, all right, that's good. I'm glad to hear that. And by the way, that's not always the case. Some people come in terrible pain. They leave adjusted, but still aching. And then the next day they wake up and they're sore and they're like, what's going on? And then the next day they wake up feeling great. So sometimes it's not always the people walking out happy smiles.
It's not instant.
I like it though when it is. It's very convenient, right? Because then you know that what we did immediately helped you. Now, you come into Degenerate Chiropractic, you go see the chiropractor, we get you on the table first. And then we adjust either your hips or your tailbone if one of them is out. So, in your case, I think it was pretty far out, wasn't it?
Like an inch.
Like an inch, which, for comparison, a regular, nobody's regular though, like what's an average person? There's no such thing. But a regular patient is about a 1/4 inch out when they have problems from hips or tailbone. And you were 4 times that. You were a full inch out. Mm-hmm. Way to be dramatic.
Always dramatic.
Oh yeah?
Apparently.
Nothing wrong with that until it's your hips that are being dramatic.
Yeah.
So we fix that. Do you get sore the next day much? That's a lot.
No. Sometimes I go home and do the heat.
Sometimes you go home and do the heat, which is okay. But remember, if you're having that shooting pain, we quit the heat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good rule of thumb. If you have any shooting pain, we do ice, not heat.
Inflammation.
Yeah, and a little bit of inflammation on those nerves goes a long way. So while heat calms muscles, and that's nice, that little bit of increased inflammation when you put heat on, if you have heat on or inflammation on a nerve, it can be agony. And I have seen patients where the biggest problem in their care was just that they kept using a heat pack for their sciatica. So, always safer to go with the ice. Mm-hmm. Anyway, you don't get too sore. You use the heat pack to help with the soreness. And that is good when you're worried about soreness because it calms those muscles down. But we also have to adjust your back and your neck. Mm-hmm. And you like it a little bit rougher. So do we get the job done here?
For the neck, yes.
But not the mid-back so much.
No, the shoulders is where I have the issue.
And do we use the gun on it?
No.
The arthro stem? We just adjust it.
I think when I was to see Dr. John last time,
Yeah?
he used it.
Oh,
He did.
way to go, Dr. John. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do like the arthro stem. We just did a show on how the arthro stem can be used for a lot of different things. So maybe we could try it out for the shoulder today. Well,
Maybe.
we'll see. It's always important to start with a spine-first approach. And here's a cool thing about doing that. And here's something I love about old-school chiropractic, like Mullins. Mm-hmm. He's an old-school chiropractor. He adjusts the whole spine, and then if you do that for a little while, and we're not talking months, we're talking days to weeks, you can see effects on parts of the body that seem like they're completely unrelated to the spine. So I start working on your upper back and your neck, and your shoulders start getting better. And that's a great thing to see because that's the most natural way to heal. If I can let your body do all the work, great, and I just get out of the way because then you don't need me. So sometimes I don't go straight to using our extra therapies when I'm hoping that your body can do the work because that's a better long-term answer for you. Mm-hmm. So I guess that's my excuse for why we didn't use the gun on you.
Probably.
But it is good to attempt it. And I even tell this for people who want x-rays. There's a study done that said x-rays, when you see them, they make you feel worse. So if I don't need the x-ray, I don't get it. Now, of course, sometimes you need it. And if you're not getting better, we take an x-ray. But for your case, you said you like the neck a little rougher. So is it because you want to hear noise, or is it because you have a difficult neck?
I think everything is difficult from the neck down. Because
Oh.
when I went to Dr. Mullen, that's why my brothers do it too. They go to a chiropractor that does the old school because it's not all this new technology.
Right.
And it's rougher, but it's better.
That's right. Yeah. It's funny how the old school method that everyone runs away from the the new chiropractors.
I run to it.
That's right. It gets great results. There used to be this old chiropractor who he invented this technique called Gonstead, and he used to tell people when they would complain about being sore after the old school method, he said, take some ice and go for a walk. You go ice and stride, ice and stride. And there's a reason, because you would get results. You suffer through a little bit sometimes with these old school, a little bit more rough ones. But if you can bear with it, if you have a high pain tolerance, it has really quick and cool results. Nothing wrong with going gentle. You just, sometimes those treatment plans are a little longer. You still get your results, but you have to work for it a little more. You have to show up, be diligent to your treatment plan, and be careful when you leave here and not to be silly. You're still using your back support that Mullins recommended, and right?
No,
No.
no, not
So
on
your
the
back's
school
been
bus.
hurting.
Well, different bus, air ride, seats better.
Seats better.
Yeah,
You can still use the support though.
Yeah.
That little lumbar support's great for you.
Actually, my dog had tore it up, so that's why I don't have it anymore.
Oh.
I have to get a new one.
Okay, so what I would like to do for the third segment, by the way, is I like to show what an adjustment for Leah looks like, okay? So I know we treated you already this week. Is that all right with you? We'll take a look. There might not be a ton of work for me to do, but it'll be nice to show what your treatment looks like. Okay, so stay tuned. We're going to come right back for the best part of the show where we show you what we do. So come right back. Welcome back to Let's Talk Chiropractic. I'm Dr. Alex. I'm here with Leah Peters. We're going to show you what it's like for Leah to get treated here. So Leah, this is, well, everyone in Leah, this is our high-low table you're very familiar with.
Yes.
This particular one is a little tall for you, but we'll get the job done with it. This table uses hydraulics to go down so that you can go from a standing position to a laying position, and it'll leave your hips laying the way that you were standing, which is functional. And that's what I want to adjust. I want to adjust the functional you, not just the you when you're rolling around on a bed or sitting down in the bus as much. We want that to be functional in your most functional position, which is upright. We'll go face first to it. You can hold on. Here's a good spot. Even though this is the hand piece, like I said, the table's a little tall. Our other table is still getting worked on. We had to buy a piece, and it's taking forever to get the piece. So we're waiting for the shorter table, the Leah table.
For the short people.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nope.
You know, we all come in different shapes and sizes. She was in already this week, but she told me before the show she had been moving some stuff around. So I'm seeing that her hips are out. And actually it's out the exact same way I just fixed. I do have to test that, but you see how this leg is short, which tells me that this hip is high, right? Short leg, high hip. This is the translation. Or this hip is low. Both are possible. When I pick it up, it doesn't change, which actually points towards it not being so much the hip's fault that it's high, but actually a twisting in the tailbone. The way I test this is I'm going to flick this ligament up in the glute, and it will make it reflex to being back to even. But here's a cool thing about this little test. See, it looks even now. I'm just going to wait 10 seconds. And it was just a reflex, so it's going to calm down now. It'll go back to being bad. And when I try it again, sure enough, it is the tailbone. It went right back to being off. So we'll have to fix that. I cross this leg over. I make sure the table is set properly. Yeah, that's good. I'm going to hold this hip down so that I can push the tailbone away from it. I'll show you with this spine model. This is Leah's spine we've removed from her. We're going to hold this hip down like so, and I'm just going to push this tailbone so that I can untwist it, because right now it's kind of wedged up against here. So if I can push it back like so, then hopefully with the drop piece's help, we'll be able to get her so that she's standing with her hips even again and that tailbone untwisted. That's our goal. If that's all I accomplished today, it would be a good day. That's the most important thing about this spine right now. She's about a ½ inch off from this, so I know it's quite bad for her functionally. So I don't want to do a hard drop, so I always put my knee on it to get the right kind of pressure. And I'm just pushing it with a tap, right? It's just a tap. But it can be quite dramatic. And there's an important part to this. After I get her even using that little tap, how do we know it's not any different than that little test I did earlier? Well, let's wait 10 seconds. If it's just a reflex, it'll go right back to being out. Or if we let Leah move some boxes again. Because she did that just today, right? That's why you're off. Sure enough, it's still on. Thank goodness. That's what we're looking for. Okay. So I'm hoping there's not a bunch going on because I just had this fixed. I'm not even kidding. We had her fixed yesterday. She went back out and starts. You had to move all those things by the end of the month, and it's getting towards the end of the month.
I don't want to help.
Go ahead and breathe in and out. I'm just talking to the spine. I'm not even pushing that hard because it doesn't need that much. I'm having this conversation. When I give it some tension, is it asking for me to give it a push or not? And it's not. Go ahead and breathe in. And this is a high tension area for her. Breathe out. I'm going to give this a little bit of force. Just a little tap. And we got a little bit of noise.
I heard it.
But I might even give this some more when we flip you around. This is a nice part of this table. These drops up here are state of the art for a headpiece. It's very similar to the piece we're using down there. And I can just give a little tap to the top of her upper back and the bottom of her neck to loosen that up for me. When I get around to treating her for the neck, that'll make things a lot easier. So let's pick her up. Let's see if you slide down the table.
I am. I was
Okay,
trying to
you
put
good?
my feet go, yeah.
Okay, good.
I'm good.
We'll flip around
It
so
was
you're
either
going
this
face up.
one or this one, so.
Yeah, I know. We're dealing with it. This table is a lot of things great, but I do wish it was just a little bit more height accommodating.
Yeah, just not for short people.
And it does get, this part, I have to also get creative because, right, she's not as high up the table as
Hold
I'm
up.
used to having. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
That's how my.
I'm hoping there's nothing for me to do in this neck because I just fixed it.
Because you got it to correct both ways yesterday.
Yeah, well, let's check it. Ooh, it doesn't feel too bad. We'll give a little adjustment where she needed it last time. But yeah, it's fine there. That's good. And this one is a little bit off.
That one always is.
This one always is? So we're going to do we'll relax. So we just had to put it back into place. Only one noise though, which means it didn't have enough time being off to throw the rest of the neck off. Only the one segment was out of place. Now, another old school method that I like that we use for you, for that particularly, see the shape of her spine here, it doesn't accommodate stress in this region well because it's kind of got this focal area. So I'm going to give it a little bit extra because I got this to move nicely. I opened this up, but here not so much. So we'll cross this arm over. Give yourself a nice tight hug.
Yep.
Good.
Breathe in.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Go ahead and breathe in and all the way out. And I just give it a little tap. There we go. Not so bad?
Nope. I felt that one too.
Yeah, good. So this would be the normal day for Leah Peters. We've adjusted her entire spine and we did it the old school way. I think when I designed your treatment plan, I thought Mullins in my head and I just went full old school, which I love, right? Doesn't have great results doing things with just my hands, no fancy bells or whistles.
Right.
So what I'm going to ask you to do now though is we'll swing these legs over and I'll just show, because you had it last time, the arthro stem on your shoulder.
God.
So I'm going to take, pardon me, Mr. Bones. I'm going to take
Bones.
this. Yeah, I know. See, they're all from the Bones family. I just have to come up with first names for them. We have the one out in the lobby. I have two in these.
The one that's missing feet.
Yeah, well, he can't go anywhere then, right?
He can't run away.
We don't want him to. You got to keep the patients in the office somehow.
Right.
Okay, which shoulder's the problem shoulder? Is it the right or the left?
I'm going to say the left.
The left, but you're a little hesitant, so let me just...
Yeah, I'm not really sure.
And I'm using a particular head on this, which is focused. There's other heads for this gun that are more designed for the spine, more designed for bigger areas, softer areas. But this one is, I like to call it the meanest of the bunch because it's the most focused. It gets the results right where I want it. And I'm putting my fingers in the way because it is rather rough, right? So if you're very sensitive, I'll even put my finger in the way this much. because you can see how that's pretty nice. But if I put it like that, that's a little rougher, right? Now, do you mind, which way would you prefer?
The rougher part.
The rougher, okay.
Yeah.
So I'm still going to hold it back a little bit so I have control, just putting my fingers over it, but that's the gun. And see, it pushes as hard as I push. So it can be very rough, but we don't need all that. These are little joints we're working with. I like to feel the tension release. So I just put my finger right where the head is, because I know I've done my job when it loosens. Oh, is that ticklish or painful?
No, that was a little touchy.
A little, so let's work around there, but be nice. I want function to be here. And pain is an alarm telling me that there's something going on here that needs to be tended to. So a little bit of pain. Yeah. Yeah, that's real tender, huh?
Yes, it is.
All right, I'm gonna actually, through my hand, it won't hurt you. I see you twitching a little bit. Yeah. I think,
maybe I picked the right shoulder?
I think you've been working a little hard moving all this stuff. That's what I think is going on. You shouldn't be out so soon, right after I fixed it. You know, you weren't in a car accident, but your back is starting to act like it. I'll open this up a little bit too. Might as well pamper you, right?
Might as well.
No, see, this is the same area on this side, but it's not doing that. So there is definitely, in the comparison, she is tighter on that side. So we'll just loosen it up briefly. Yeah, not nearly as much going on here. All right, so let us know. How you doing, Leah? Is it going well?
Yes.
I'm done with your care. Stand up for me. Just try out those hips, see how they feel. Give us a report.
Dizzy.
Oh, a little dizzy?
Yeah, well.
Don't forget your water. That's another thing. When you get adjusted, it drains you of your spine's energy that's available right away. It's chemical energy. It's called ATP. So if you do get that where you get a little bit woozy, when you get it, it's like you just went for a sprint. Your spine just used a lot of energy. So eat a little bit, drink a little bit of water. Make sure tonight you sleep. Sleep like a baby. Get your full quality, 8 hours plus.
I've been busy, so I will sleep.
Thank you. And that's part of it too. She's been doing a lot, so put this on top of it. I've drained her of a lot of energy, and I adjusted your full spine. Thank you so much for coming on the show, Leah.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to watch the show. This has been Let's Talk Chiropractic. I'm Dr. Alex signing off.